What if the most dangerous people don't look dangerous at all? What if evil doesn't scream? This is the psychology of Jeffrey Dahmer. Before you hear what he did, you need to understand how he thought, because Jeffrey Dahmer didn't look like a monster. And that's what makes this story terrifying. The part 2 of Jeffrey Dahmer's crime story. By the time Jeffrey Dahmer moved into his own apartment, something inside him had settled. Not guilt, not fear, acceptance. The fantasies were no longer frightening to him. They were familiar, comforting. And now, he finally had a place where no one could interrupt them. Apartment 213, a small space, thin walls, a single door separating his private world from everyone else. And behind that door, Jeffrey Dahmer would begin to perfect something far more dangerous than violence: control. To the people around him, Jeffrey Dahmer was invisible. He worked quietly at a chocolate factory. He nodded at neighbors but never lingered. He kept his eyes down, his voice low. No one described him as threatening. No one felt uneasy around him. Psychologically, this is one of the most dangerous traits a predator can have, because people don't prepare for danger when it doesn't announce itself. Dahmer didn't look angry. He didn't look unstable. He looked harmless. Dahmer didn't hunt in dark alleys. He hunted in places filled with people, bars, clubs, spaces where loneliness hid behind laughter. He watched carefully. Who was alone? Who wanted company? Who wanted to be seen? Then he approached, not with force, but with an offer, a drink, a conversation, a few dollars. Psychologists call this instrumental manipulation, when someone uses charm not to connect, but to control. Dahmer didn't want to struggle. He wanted quiet obedience. Once inside his apartment, the shift happened quickly. A drink, a smile, a sense of safety, and then unconsciousness. This is where something chilling occurred inside Dahmer's mind. The person in front of him stopped being a person. No memories, no family, no future, just a body. This psychological process is called dehumanization. And once it takes hold, empathy doesn't disappear slowly. It shuts off. Dahmer didn't just kill, he kept photos, bones, objects that once belonged to someone alive. This wasn't about trophies in the way movies portray them. This was about fear of abandonment. Dead things couldn't leave him. They couldn't reject him. They couldn't say no. In his mind, this was closeness without risk, connection without vulnerability, and that illusion became addictive. Neighbors complained again and again, a smell so strong it made people gag. Police knocked on his door more than once. Each time, Dahmer explained calmly: a spoiled freezer, a misunderstanding, a nervous laugh, and the officers left. Psychologically, authority tends to trust those who appear cooperative. Dahmer knew this, and he used it. One night, a young boy escaped his apartment, barefoot, bleeding, disoriented. Neighbors screamed for help. Police arrived. And then Jeffrey Dahmer spoke. Calm, polite, controlled. He said it was a misunderstanding, a lover's argument, nothing more. And unbelievably, the boy was returned to him. This moment is devastating, not just because of what followed, but because it proved something terrifying. Dahmer didn't just manipulate victims, he manipulated reality. After that night, Dahmer felt untouchable. His fantasies grew darker, more experimental, more dangerous. He began pushing limits, not because he wanted to be caught, but because he believed he wouldn't be. And that belief would lead to one final mistake. On a humid night in July 1991, Jeffrey Dahmer misjudged someone. The man fought back. He escaped. And for the first time in years, someone ran from apartment 213 straight into the street, straight toward the police station. The police asked the boy what was wrong. He explained, but the police didn't believe him at first, because what the boy said he witnessed in Jeffrey's room seemed unbelievable. Meanwhile, that's the truth. The boy led the police to Jeffrey's apartment. Police expected noise, an argument, a dispute. What they didn't expect was silence, the kind that feels heavy. When they stepped into apartment 213, the air itself felt wrong. And then they saw the photographs of different people in the drawers, before and after killing them, human parts in freezers, containers, evidence everywhere. Some officers had to step outside. Others stood frozen, and Jeffrey Dahmer sat calmly. When asked questions, he didn't deny. He pointed and began to explain. Not emotionally, not defensively, matter of fact, as if describing furniture. What shocked psychologists most wasn't what he admitted to, it was how he described it. No rage, no excitement, no visible remorse, just emptiness. Dahmer understood right from wrong, but emotionally, it meant nothing to him. This wasn't madness in the way people expect. It was compulsion. As details emerged, anger spread. How was this missed? Why weren't warnings taken seriously? Why did no one intervene? The case exposed something uncomfortable. Sometimes the system doesn't fail loudly. Sometimes it fails quietly. In court, experts argued, was he insane? Was he evil? Was he both? The jury decided he was sane. The judge found him guilty of all charges and sentenced him to life in prison. But sometimes answers didn't bring comfort. It doesn't bring back the lives he had taken. In prison, Dahmer lost the one thing he had always needed: control. No more chance for manipulation, no privacy, no power. In 1994, another inmate ended his life. The inmate later explained what happened. Another inmate approached him, not with a weapon, not with a plan, just a question. He asked Dahmer if everything was true, if he was really guilty of what he had done. Dahmer didn't hesitate. He simply said, yes. No emotion, no regret, no explanation. That answer was enough. The inmate snapped. He attacked Dahmer again and again until it was over. No ritual, no fantasy, no control, just raw, unavoidable reality. And so the story of Jeffrey Dahmer comes to a close. But these stories, they are never truly over. They linger in the shadows of human nature, in the quiet moments we think we're safe, in the warning signs we ignore. What can we learn from this darkness? That evil can hide behind the most ordinary faces, that silence can be deadly, and that curiosity, our need to understand, is what keeps history from repeating itself. If you want to uncover more stories like this, stories that explore the minds behind the headlines, the darkness behind the doors, then make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Because the truth is far stranger, far darker, and far more chilling than fiction.